I'm hoping that the TGIF fever would take off this depression in my head right now because have you gone to the market recently? Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be lamenting. I promise I was going to give you guys good news all through. Okay, so have you seen how beautiful things are? The sky is blue, still remains blue, right? Welcome to the show, Lagos. This is where we get to discuss topical conversations that affects you daily, especially affecting your welfare and well-being in Nigeria. My name is Precious. As I said earlier, I am your host. This show is produced by Promise. Let's get started with the conversations that we have for the day. Today is Friday, so I have a full house as usual. If you think the full house means get your mind off that. All right, Lagos, let me run you through the hot topics that we have this evening. I'm ready to take hard decisions to move Nigeria forward. Tinubu gives reasons why fuel price was increased. Petrol price hike has worsened our operations. Who said this and to whom? As my lecturer will ask back in the days, is Manufacturers Association of Nigeria telling you people. Petrol price, we are in deep pain. Nigerians knock Tinubu government. We're in severe pain. And then let's move on. NNPCL blames petrol price hike on forex market forces. I have a very particular problem with this forex market forces, but I'm going back to others. Nigerians are hungry. Reduce fuel price. Kuka tells APC. And then we hear that breaking news. NNPC ties Dangote petrol price to forex rate. We'll look at that conversation, but there are other stories you may need to know before I get to that breaking news. This is not the breaking news. We didn't stop under 18-year-old students from writing WAEC and NECO. Minister, if you didn't stop them, then what? Actually, we're going to break down this conversation so we're really sure of what we're doing. If our 16 and 17-year-old kids in SS3 right now can write WAEC or they can't, so that we know. All right. Moving on. A Reps committee pledges to end medical tourism. That's a good news, isn't it? Breaking medical tourism, especially amongst political elites. How possible is that, you may wonder? But then let's move on to other issues. IGP Egbetokun's 4 years appointment, not tenure elongation. Force headquarters react. And federal government flags off sale of 50 kg bag of rice for 40,000 naira to Nigerians. But you must have NIN to buy it. More like you must see write your name. We must know where you come from. We must know your village and house address before you buy it. Okay, let's move on then. Reps back ban on under 18 SSE UTME candidates. And then 467 Nigerians killed in 4 states between July and August. 1 year, within 1 month alone. 467 Nigerians killed. This is according to National Human Rights Commission. Lagos, these are the hot topics that we have. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back as we begin to dissect the conversations one at a time. Stay with us.
From the streets, we go to bed empty hunger. To the blaring horns of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and pressure for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills 3 things and makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Evening Rush with Pressures, featuring sound and informed guests across various sectors to discuss matters arising on Hot Topic Party.
What was the rate of inflation, and Demi, what was the exchange rate?
Intense conversations,
Doesn't mean he's about to join any party or not. Then who will join the one that will think about
critical analysis.
What is wrong with us 200 million people? We can't even give ourselves.
We sometimes disagree.
When we say our GDP is not an oil-dominated,
To agree.
Like what's going on here?
You caught that again, right?
I saw that.
On Hot Topic Pali, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. 90.3. Voice of the People FM. Lagos. Now you have a voice.
Yes, Lagos, now you do have a voice. 90.3, Voice of the People FM, the only station that prides itself as giving you a voice. It's, day two. We know day two now, only us day here. Let's get started, Lagos, shall we? I will begin with this reaction of the president to the fuel increment. As President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today, Friday, in Beijing, China, said he was ready to take the hard decisions to move the nation forward, adding that it is not always easy for a leader to have a national consensus on issues. Now, the president stated this when he met with Nigerians living in the People's Republic of China to round off his official engagements in the country. Tinubu described his visit as very good and successful. Addressing members of Nigerians and Diaspora Organization in China, NIDO, China, and one Nigerian community at the Nigerian community at the China World Hotel, President Tinubu emphasized his efforts to strengthen cooperation in infrastructure, trade, finance, energy, green economy, and mining during his discussions with President Xi Jinping, Premier Li Qiang, and his participation at the 2024 summit of the Forum on Africa, China-Africa Cooperation. Now, the president, in a statement by the spokesman, Chief Ajuri Ngelale, what is uppermost in his mind, the statement reads, is for you to continue representing Nigerians as good citizens. And I urge all to be good ambassadors of the China. In fact, part of that message reads, we will also celebrate our diversity, we cherish it, but this diversity is our commitment to serve. It is about service. We must be good citizens. He emphasized the importance of discipline and commitment to national service, citing China's disciplined society as an example for Nigerians to follow. And then there was something exceptional he did said when he was quoting, he told the Nigerian community in China that, they must have heard about the fuel issue in Nigeria. Well, that at some point you may need to take the tough decisions. And those tough decisions were necessary for us to have the kind of reforms that we have. You see the beautiful roads you see in China here. So we need those tough decisions so that we can also do good roads like that for you people in Nigeria. Well, joining me in the conversation today is Prince Francis Chilaka and Mr. Ekene Obi. By the way, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria have cried out and they say that, it hard for us to do our work. They said it's difficult for manufacturers' operations to have in fact, that the fuel issue has worsened their activities because of the recent fuel pump price increase. The Southwest chairman, that is the Manufacturer Association of Nigeria Southwest chairman, said this in an interview today in Ibadan. Friday. Mr. Pokwala decried how difficult it has been to operate manufacturing firms on full scale under the current economic hardship. Because if you go to buy electricity, Band A will not let you. Once you just buy as a manufacturer, even if you buy 100,000, give it 1 week. Piam, Otilo. He said that man was already facing difficulties before the increase in the recent price, of fuel. Pokwala said it was unfortunate that amidst the increase and instability in the economy, the federal government expected the private sector to implement 70% new national minimum wage. How and I want us to pay new 70% minimum wage? As the team, they even had us to stay afloat for business. Can we increase salary now? No, we are in dilemma, he said. Now, according to him, the sector has been plagued with economic challenges such as inflation and the devaluation of naira amidst forex scarcity. The present hard situation in the country has been worsened by the fuel increase recently, and there is no respite in sight. So he says, well, Mr. Kenobi, good evening once more and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. So let's get straight to the point. Man is crying. It's difficult. Must be very difficult to operate businesses in Nigeria right now. But the president has assured Nigerians that that it is necessary to take some painful decisions so that we can get to that Canaan land that we're expecting. If we don't take that painful decision, it will be hard. So that we can have good roads like China. I mean, should we still blame the presidency? Because clearly they are protecting the interest of Nigerians.
I start with laughing because, I mean, talk is cheap. Talk is really, really cheap. I mean, I'm happy that he's in China. And policies are very deliberate, especially policies that should drive purpose. It has to be deliberate. You just don't talk, and then when it comes to action, then you be found wanting. The one problem I had stated here before is the fact that it appears that we don't have leaders, we have rulers. I said that before and I mean it. And every day the need to find that statement to be true continues to be clear. These people go to where things have been worked out by human beings who can think and who have conscience to be able to do things that would last or put their name on the sand of time, and also their policies are driven to preserve humanity and to show that yes, we are here for the people, because government exists anywhere in the world for the people, except in Africa, more so in Nigeria. These guys go to where good things have been done by human beings, and then they come tell you stories when it comes to for them to replicate the same thing. Even when they have the resources, they tend to explain it off. What is happening in Nigeria today is really, really laughable, and it continues to amuse people, because the level of confusion that we have today in the polity is such that if you want to talk about one particular problem, you find that you will have different explanations to just one particular problem. And at the end of the day, you may find that there won't be any solution to that same problem, because everybody is talking from different angles and making their explanations or whatever it is that they are submitting as authority, more like authoritative to the answers we're all looking for. So you don't even know who to believe. And besides, the biggest problem that we have now is when something is put out, in less than 1 second, it will be denied. But the stuff that is being put out is already in action. So we started this democracy with about 5,000 megawatts of electricity in 1999. Like I said before, over $100 billion had been sunk into the system. We can't find anything additional. Till today, after 25 years, we're still battling, we're still within that range of 5,000, 4,000, thereabouts, megawatts of electricity. Now, you've been able to create your the Minister of Power has been able to partition what in his own head he thinks is small by making it different bands. Now, band A is of getting light in that band is so crazy that if you manufacture anything with that band, you may not be able to compete with anybody. So it's been so difficult for them to be able to cry out. I pity those who are manufacturing here. I mean, going strictly to that news, I pity those who are manufacturing anything in this land called Nigeria. Little wonder when you import anything from outside, it comes pretty much cheaper than those who are that are manufactured here, because manufacturing here is hellish, to say the least. So the president, it's very easy for him to say, oh, seeing what you've seen in China, we are working to be able to replicate the same thing. It's all talk, and there is no action to that. And for him to say hitting the ground running, we have seen it since he came in up until today. we have seen that there is no structure, there is no blueprint of what you wanted to do. All these things are like trial and error, and that's why we are where we are today. And it's just not going to get any better unless we unbundle, dismantle this whole thing we started, and find another way to it. Because if we follow this trajectory, we can't get anywhere. We can never get anywhere, and that's the most unfortunate thing.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Francis Chilaka, so in China, the minimum wage in China, it's about 1,420 Chinese yuan, which equivalents about $208.82 as it were per dollar. And the minimum wage in Nigeria is 70,000 naira. That's about $40 thereabouts.
At what exchange?
Well, that's why I said that's about $40 thereabouts, generally. However, the electricity tariff in China is not any cheaper because in China, the electricity tariff, per kilowatt could, for those who cents, whereas in Nigeria is at less than 20 cents. If you calculate the 206 naira per kilowatt right now, it's about 88 cents. So, sir, I've not finished asking.
Please stop. Don't get me upset this
Sorry,
evening.
sir.
Yes, don't get me upset. When we begin to make comparisons with countries that have developed, countries where people are having a good living standard, to a country that is, ravaged in corruption, a country where there are no leaders but rulers, a country where you have few people who have stolen the wealth of the country and parading themselves as your rulers, and you're telling me you want to make comparison between China and Nigeria. That is completely absurd.
Is it because China has zero tolerance to corruption?
You are insulting the intelligence of Nigerians for saying that.
No, that's not my intention.
That
Absolutely
is
not the intention.
Now you are playing the role of the APC woman leader very well, and I don't.
Wait.
I won't to allow you to do that. In 2012, on the 11th,
you notice that
on the 11th of January 2012, this president wrote a speech that was almost 5 pages, and it started by saying that the removal of fuel subsidy by the Jonathan administration was a break in the social contract between Nigerians and the government. And he fought vehemently. He pulled people out. He brought pastors, men of God. He brought imams. He brought past leaders.
He brought them himself, or they just joined the protest?
There must be a leader. He was the leader. He brought them out.
The sole leader or part of the leaders?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, he was in the forefront. And people joined him and followed him, and they occupied Nigeria for how many days? And they pushed and ensured that the Jonathan administration reverted to status quo. And I remember, let me tell you, and let me give you some excerpts from that article or speech that he gave. He said, and I quote, "By taking the step, government has tossed the people into the depths of the midnight sea. Government demands the people swim to slavery."
The same steps that a former governor said was just political because they knew that fuel subsidy had to go.
Which was Fayemi, the
Yes,
former governor of Ekiti State.
Yes, please.
Good. So what are those who are supporting this administration trying to tell us? Have we become so daft as a people? Have we become so uneducated or so uninformed that anything goes? As at the time Jonathan was going to remove the subsidy, we have a vibrant economy that would have absorbed it. How many years down the line, when Nigerians are suffering in poverty and penury, you now do the unthinkable. Subsidy is gone and has plunged this country into extreme poverty. Rather than elevate people, rather than bring people out of poverty, you are pushing people more into abject poverty. And you're in China and you're telling us that you want to, you want to replicate China in Nigeria.
I was going to even give you proper excerpt of that conversation because he said more there. Part of what he said is that, he did mention that he committed, of course, to replicate the development that he's seen in China, in Nigeria. In fact, he says we want our children to be in good schools, not attend huts, that is tent houses, huts, and dilapidated buildings. We must make our teaching innovative and allow businesses of all kinds and sizes to flourish. Did you hear that? Allow businesses of all kinds and sizes to flourish. More so, he says, one economic action leads to another, and it is in your hands to build our nation. Mine is to provide the leadership, and I am committed to doing just that.
What leadership is he providing?
The one he's providing.
Since this government came to power, how many foreign national companies have left Nigeria? How many local companies have survived the hardship, the difficult terrain in doing business? Do you know how expensive it is today to clear a 20-feet container? Do you know?
And we're an import.
And this is the same
country.
government that has been coming up with different somersaulting policies. Yes, you want your children to be innovative. You want your children to go to the best schools. Yet you are limiting the year they have to take exams.
Oh, if you want us to talk about that,
I'm
now,
coming.
they have reversed.
It's somersaulting.
Well, it's not somersaulting. Let me get to that. First of all, let me start.
Before you go there,
okay.
Let us digress this whole China thing. The kind of corruption you have in this country, do you have it in China?
You know, there they used to kill corrupt politicians.
So why are we not doing that in Nigeria?
Oh, yeah, one of our senators, Organ Dume, said that people who steal millions and billions
and then you want this country, you want this country to move forward. When you cannot curb corruption, you want this country to move forward when you have a flawed electoral process.
So do you really think that we should apply capital punishment?
Yes, it has gotten to that.
To corruption.
A lot of
not even finish asking
a lot of Nigerians are suffering. There's so much hunger in the land. Maybe the political class don't understand what is happening.
So who will pass the law now? Who will make it a law when the people who are in charge of the law, like our senators, one of them is saying that that money is too small. Hundreds, thousands, and millions and billions. It is maybe too small for capital punishment.
It is because the people you have in power today, or those you call your leaders, do not understand what leadership is all about. And that is why each time I make reference to good leadership, I take you back to the likes of late Jakonde, late Simon Bake, late Ajasi. These are men of honor and proven integrity. These are men that are patriotic. They had patriotism running in their veins. Which politician today, which leader today will talk about patriotism? Name one of them. Is it your Senate president? Is it your speaker? Is it your deputy of governors you have? Governors who do not even give account of themselves? Governors who are buying properties all over the places? And when they finish raping and abusing their states, they retire to the National Assembly and become senators, living off the sweat of the ordinary Nigerians. How many times have your governors and your presidents, even the president before now, visited other countries? What kind of development do they come back with? We've seen governors who go to UK and they're joining train like every other citizen. But when they come to Nigeria, they have several cars, escorts, police, siren, blaring and pushing people off the road. Is that leadership? They just go abroad because of the extra code they get and nothing else.
Okay, so let's quickly exhaust this fuel issue before we jump to that WAEC issue, because it's good that we also attend to that. However, following what you said and the pain that this fuel increase in pump fuel price, the effect on Nigerians are still lamenting, as some of them are saying that they are shocked that earlier in the week, following the announcement of the NNPC, that fuel is what it is today. In fact, as a matter of fact, so many of them are saying that we're in severe pain, and that it's not easy for Nigerians to cope. Businesses are collapsing, and people, even including transporters themselves, are even lamenting, concerning the issues. But let me just leave that and move quickly. The NNPCL, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, said the recent hike in the pump price of premium motor spirit was influenced by foreign exchange and unrestricted free market forces. You know that because we've now deregulated the industry, if there's a proper deregulation, we're supposed to buy from direct market price. So as market forces cause the fluctuation in prices, that's exactly how we should buy them. So I think that's exactly what they're trying to explain here. According to a statement by the NNPC spokesperson, Olufemi, Executive Vice President of Downstream and of the company, Adedapo Shegun, they disclosed this while speaking to a television station, TVC, today. So they said, that his comments, generally that it's occasioned by forex market forces, that it is actually not their fault. They don't have a hand in it, right? And then, so that is it. So that is to say, but there's a lot of questions to ask concerning that. If it is the market forces that is determining the price, Mr. Kene, I come to you. By the price of crude oil in the international market and by the price of fuel, which is not less than 90 cents, as it were. 90 cents is above 1,300 naira, 1,200 naira. How come we moved prices to only 897 naira, even though it is very painful to Nigerians now? And then how come NNPCL over time is having shortage of fund because of the shortfalls on windfall that are paying for us for, which is not subsidy, even though shortfall and the other fall sounds like subsidy. How come, if we're still buying from direct market prices or according to direct market prices?
Okay, so let me broach the question like this. Let me start by painting what, it's kind of laughable if I look at what NNPC used to be before it became NNPCL, what it has become today. Because I remember it's there in the history that when NNPC was set up, right, other countries tried to model the NNPC style after their own establishment. So you look at companies like Petrol, and you look at companies like Qatar Gas and stuff, right? They modeled after NNPC, in the 70s, and today they have become they have gone international. Okay, they are exploring, they are finding resources where you can get them, and then they have different departments that are quite functional, and they are making serious money in dollars, bringing back home. But that's not what you have. Maybe because of the fact that corruption has been able to bring NNPC to its knees. Okay, so recently PIB,
yes,
broken down after the unbundling and all of that, and then you have NNPCL. Okay, so what it has become today is ridiculous. But let's go there. NNPC telling you, PCL telling you that market forces, is the determinant factor. It's very easy. Yes, we know what market forces is in principle, but in practice, they are doing the contrary. What do I mean? Now, they tell you, okay, let's look at, we're talking downstream now, right?
Yes, please.
Downstream sector. So let's look at the first, the first one in oil downstream sector that was deregulated. So you look at diesel. Diesel was purely deregulated. Okay, market forces played a very good role.
So that's why we still have that fluctuation in price of
where nobody, no one person is holding the monopoly of diesel distribution or buying, importing and buying, and all that kind of stuff. Nobody is interested because diesel is not everybody's problem. It's not a premium. It's not in premium demand. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Good. They are still using the same tactic to tell you that PMS is being deregulated, so market forces plays a role. Now, NNPC telling you that on paper, but in practice is different.
Why do you think it's different in practice?
It's different because, unfortunately, the same NNPC that was supposed to have been playing internationally had been reduced to being like a sole distributor, okay, to that level. That's how much it is.
Why do you call them a sole distributor? Because this just reminded me, apologies, this just reminds me of what played out yesterday, where Dangote Group is saying that, oh, the NNPCL or the federal government, as it were, are yet to come lift from me. And at the same time, he's insinuating that, well, the National Economic Council will, have a say in what the price of my fuel. And people are saying, look, you're a limited liability company. Is it National Economic Council that plays the price of your cement and your sugar? How come they are the ones who place this price? And then, okay, yeah. So people are saying, but NNPCL is now a limited liability company. Why should they be the ones? Why should they play a role in, having a hand in how your fuel is sold? Especially because we're also hearing the gossip that, they may likely be the sole buyer from Dangote. If they're the sole buyer, then has the market been properly deregulated?
Dangote said that already.
So I don't understand what is going on.
The reason is simple, right? You will see that it didn't start with this administration. Any government that come into the office, why do you think the president have always, hold that position? Except who? I think it was Jonathan. From Obasanjo down to this day, any other person that have become president have always been interested in holding the Ministry of Petroleum office to himself, because that's the cash cow of the government. Because we deal on monoproduct, and that is crude oil. So every money that comes is controlled by NNPC. Okay, so that's why every president is interested. Even as you have narrowed NNPCL down, the government of the day is still interested in. Can't you see what Mele Kyari is doing? He's doing because it's like a government unto himself. Everything that comes into the coffers of NNPC, he controls. Whatever it is he declares to central bank is what is being given at the end of the day. So like the everything is shrouded in secrecy.
All right.
But let me also go to the fact that it is not deregulated. It's the market forces is not playing according to the market forces, because if market forces are playing out here, I, him, or any other person, even you, would have been interested in going to import fuel and bring it to this country. This other guest you brought the other day gave us a bit of an insight what was happening in that industry, where if NNPC brings in at 7 naira, and then they will sell at 4 naira, the 3 naira gap, somebody is taking care of it. If you are not plugged into government, or your company is not plugged, you cannot be able to get that 3 naira. So you can't compete with NNPCL. Having said that, now Nigerians would wonder why Dangote rolled out his own PMS at the time government was ready to also push up the price. Now they pushed up the price, so everything is in tandem with their own agreement, because Dangote had been pushed a bit to the wall. He was able to give out some information about what was going on in that industry. We got to know some secret. And then at the end of the day, I think they've been able to discuss to say, okay, if you're going to push out, if we're going to allow you play, who will be the one to control whatever it is that you're bringing out? Because normally, Dangote as a private company is supposed to sell to anybody he deems fit, right? But because of the government interest in this same oil business, Dangote cannot be able to play the way he wants to play. So they have been able to pin him to the level they wanted to say, okay, if we're gonna allow you, but NNPCL will be the one to distribute your own company so that it can be able to control price.
I'm coming to that part of NNPCL. So before now, NNPCL did buy OVH. That's the company, and then haven't bought OVH. We just did hear recently now that OVH, the one that was bought, has now bought the retail arm of NNPCL. And if the retail arm of NNPCL will be the one to be buying fuel from Dangote and be selling to Nigerians, does it not mean that it's OVH, which is a private company, that will be doing? We need to understand what's going on. And the Nigerians are crying because a lot of Nigerians are complaining. In fact, let me read up some of the complaints of Nigerians
before you read that
as reported by
No, hold on. Before you read that complaint. Okay. This whole thing that has played out with NNPCL, OVH, it's
fuel is still not available.
No. A lot is going on through my head right now, and the first one is the fact that we are being told that a man wakes up from sleep, goes to an orphanage home, and adopts a child. Now, this man is, let's say, 60 years old. He adopts a child of 5 years. 5 years or 6 years down the line, the child now has acquired so much wealth.
To now adopt the father back. Yeah.
Now that is how bad and how insulting the thing that has played out between NNPC, L, and OVH. Going a step further, there is something I need to correct. Each time government pushes out hardship on the people, and they come up with this story of making the people or wanting the people to believe that it is in their own interest. It is gaslighting. We need to move away from that.
How do you mean it's gaslighting?
You're doing something that you know is wrong. You're punishing people, but you're making people feel that they are responsible for the punishment you're dishing out to them.
Because they want to give us good roads like China. They want to build good schools, roads? Good hospitals.
What kind of good roads? So this whole thing about gaslighting the Nigerian people by their supposed leaders needs to end.
Okay, so let's go to that to the fuel situation. I was going to read some reactions of Nigerians to the plight of Nigerians as they react to this situation, as reported by Daily Post, by the way, not me. In fact, some of them says it is a terrible situation we'll find ourselves in this country. No wonder people are running away to other countries, even to poorer ones. And then somebody else says, this morning I paid 500 naira from Lube to Bega, which used to be 100 naira alone. And as I'm returning home this evening, the same day, it has increased to 700 naira. The same day, even charging me 800 naira, a little bit more. How much is the person's salary? How much will he not get at the end of the day? I am a businessman. I sell shoes at Otako Market, and I must go to my shop every day. Now, how do I make gains if I spend all my money in transportation? While at the shop, what do I even eat? That's what he asked. And they said the government has increased the price of fuel again. This means that the price of foodstuffs and other basic things will also increase. How do we cope? Another person says it's getting harder for everybody, and an aggrieved passenger at a particular bus stop also lamented. Now, Prince Francis Chilaka, this product is still not even available. Mr. Ekenobi had said it's strategic. I would love to hear that strategic response from you before I get back to Prince Francis Chilaka.
When you're punisher, all right, somebody who is punishing you, sometimes they want to justify their own punishment by making you feel like they're doing you a favor. Now, you see that the logic is supposed to be simple. Where somebody increases pricing, you're complaining because that's the most important thing to you. So they punish you with high pricing of the product. If they make it easy for you to buy that, you'll be thinking that, oh, my money, oh my goodness, like I used to fill my tank with about, say, 50,000, now it's about 100,000. Then you'll be feeling like your money is more important. It is your money that they are interested in. That is, you'll be lamenting over the high cost.
How much you're spending.
Exactly. But if they now make it, which is why I said it's psychological, if they now create scarcity inside your high spending, only you go say, I beg, I just need the product. Like, why
irrespective
am I
of the amount.
Do you understand? You will be begging for the product. You won't even lament again on the high cost.
So are you saying there is a deliberate scarcity to punish the people?
That's the way to see. Psychology is everything. Anything that happens, read the psychology of it. That is what many people don't understand. Because what sense does it make? You push price up, people are there crying, and yet you can't even find. Now, ask anybody on the street, they will tell you, look, all I'm looking for, okay, let me even see the product. I don't even care anymore. Somebody bought a 1-2 yesterday and said, look, I'm so happy, at least I managed to see. Can you beat that? So that's the psychology, and they know. They know. And that's why they're using that strategy.
Okay, so let's go straight to another issue. By the way, your National Assembly is planning to stop health tourism, and this should be a very good news for a lot of Nigerians. So let me read that. The House of Representatives Committee on Health Institutions has promised to put an end to medical tourism and attract development of the health sector in the country. The Chairman House Committee on Health Institutions, Honorable Amos Magaji, made the promise when he led members of an oversight visit to the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada, on Friday today. Magaji, who commended the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for declaring a state of emergency on health, also promised to change the analog attitude and approach to the administration of health, among many others in Nigeria. In fact, he applauded, the lawmakers told the management of the hospital to look out for committee's routine and announcement. Bottom line, he said that they're working hard to ensure that, Nigerians don't travel abroad again for medical tourism. And we're hoping that happens. But the answer is that, can this start begin with politicians? It's like I wanted to raise my hands up when this was saying that. Uncle I, can charity begin at home?
I have one sentence,
Okay.
just one sentence.
What sentence?
They cannot stop themselves. That's my sentence. That's only one word I have for them.
This
They
is
can't
just a
stop
committee in
Precious,
the House of Reps.
Precious.
They can't stop
Sir,
themselves.
sir.
That's all.
It's a committee just like this that bought a plane for the Mr. President.
How?
The committee came out and told you that they need the plane, that they believe that Mr. President needs a new aircraft.
And then the president got
And
any aircraft.
Now a committee is coming out to tell you they want to stop.
Medical tourism.
I
That
mean,
mean, a committee can
let
also
me
stop our
finish.
president and other people from traveling abroad.
Let me finish.
Okay, sir.
Do we really have a national assembly
Oh, we
existing
do,
in
sir.
this country?
With all due respect, sir.
Where are they?
They are in the National Assembly building.
Doing what?
Their work,
What kind of work?
including oversight function and
Of where? You have
And
national.
constituency
You
projects.
have a national assembly members carrying out oversight function, and yet Nigerians are dying in poverty and hunger. You have national assembly members with the way things are going today, and they're all smiling and nobody's talking. Is this the time to begin to talk of health tourism or whatever? How many hospitals are functional in this country? How many? So why is it that people just wake up from sleep and, I don't know the kind of dreams they have, and they just, they throw anything at the Nigerian people.
this is a good thing now.
This whole trust of pains and poverty they throw at the people, is it not to make sure that the people remain in poverty?
Yeah.
How many ordinary Nigerians go abroad for treatment? At all. How can you be? People are talking about petrol. People are talking about food. People are talking about insecurity. And you're telling us of health tourism. It is so shameful, honestly. The kind of things our leaders or rulers say, it is nothing but shameful.
Okay. All right. So we go back to that the age 18 years bracket for writing WAEC thingy. The House of Rep has backed that up in line with the 6334 style of education that we have adopted. However, the Minister for State for Education is for Nigerians thinking that his senior minister had insinuated that children should not write WAEC at 18. That is not possible. That is a work in progress because we have talented children and all that. But he was just that they were speaking on kids who actually gain admission very early. That there were kids who actually gained admission at the age of 10 and 12 in this country, and that's why they thought he had to stop. We had that issue about why stop children from writing WAEC till 18, because it's not like WAEC is something that every child covers or passes in one sitting. So if a child does not pass WAEC in one sitting and they start writing at 18, what happens when how many times do they have to sit for it before they pass? It's okay if you say the legal age to get admission is 18, but how about a child who passes WAEC at 18 too? What would they do with their life before they get into university at 18? Assuming now that they said, maybe you can write WAEC at 16, right? But you just can't get admission into university at 18. So if I write WAEC at 16, and what will I do with the 2 years of my life after I passed the WAEC? Because you were here, was it not on this call that somebody called in from the UK and said that in the UK, from the age of education to 18 is taken care of because it's totally free. And whilst you finish your high school, which is supposed to end at 16, that you have an A level that you do from 17 to 18, which is also compulsory and paid for. by the government. So it is free of charge. So shouldn't government have put those or such measures in place before mandating that, making laws that would mean that your child must not enter university at a certain age? It's easy to want to emulate things that other countries are doing, but have we put the proper structure and things in place to enable those policies thrive?
Okay, so when I was doing my master's, right, I realized that the Nigerian educational policy was last reviewed in 1968. Yes.
1968.
Policy, not curriculum.
Policy. The curriculum, unko.
No, curriculum is different, all right?
But even the curriculum, because there are some things that we're learning now
exactly
that we ought to have changed.
Absolutely.
And we have
now. If you now look
wait,
at
so
that,
if we last reviewed it in 1968,
the
policy,
yes, I had to do philosophy of education in that sense to be able to understand that. Because you see, any country that wants to really truly develop, education is the starting point. I mean, you can't, there is no other alternative. I mean, truly develop where the people, everybody is carried along, right? And then you'll be proud of the country that you came from. Unfortunately, the people we have today at the helm of government, unfortunately, again, Ministry of Education is supposed to be very, very strategic, where if you're to appoint any minister in that ministry, the person should have, some level of qualification in education to be able to understand what he or she is doing. But now, what the people that they put in there are pure politicians who go there to just distribute whatever little money, because in our fiscal budgeting, the amount that is voted into that ministry is so paltry that you can't really do anything, meaning that the government ultimately are not interested in developing the education sector. If you look at what they're saying, okay, let's look at the type of education that we used to have before, where technical school was very useful to us, because it's not everybody that is supposed to go into so much of reading and writing, being so much showing so much intelligence, if you know what I mean, like in reading and writing. There are different types that you can measure people through talent, through what they can use their hand to do and all of that. So if you run a system that is very practical, like we used to before, where people get to say JSS 3, and then you put a threshold to say those who normally would use their head to pass from 70 to 100. If they get 70 to 100, you push them to go and become eggheads, right? And those who get below 70, you push them, with all due respect, everybody go into technical school, where they go learn carpentry and mechanics and all of that. But you teach them the theory and also show them the practical, so that they can become useful. These are how society develops. For any country that wants to be intentional about development.
Have you seen our technical schools lately?
No.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Even at polytechnic.
Exactly. So when you see that we are pushing everybody to go and get certificate, because Nigeria has become a country of certification, just get it. That's why my practice is just on the rise, because everybody is being pushed to go and get that certificate. That's why things like this are happening. Now, if you look at the 6334 system, all right, if we have to say, even in America and the UK, my kids got into school, say, at 5. Yeah. So at 5, they do primary, 6 years. So that's 11. And then you do, say, JSS 3 here. Okay, that's another 14, and then you do another 3 years. That's close to 17. Do you understand? So they are right in one way, measuring up to that level. However, education has so changed that if you look at IT related courses, you find that a child can understand coding from, say, 3, 4,
Even
5,
less than
7.
six- yeah,
Do you
they're
understand?
very
So
tender age, they do.
that kind of knowledge, okay, does not conform with
just theory. Is that what you're trying
I
to
mean, measuring up to say you must get into
Age.
school because at say 9, 10, most of them have started doing things that are
They're
great.
already whiz kids.
Good. So you have to create some level of opportunities for them. If you see those kind of kids, you have to give them the
And this opportunity,
But
shouldn't they start with our government schools?
That's what
I'm not putting pressure on
that's
the private
where we're
schools.
going.
How many
Government
of our
schools-
government schools have such facilities?
government schools, the politicians that are ruling us are not interested in developing what you call government schools. And that's why today, go to your village. I know. The last time I was in the village,
I'll have to give this to Governor Sowolu. He did something amazing in line with that in Lagos State, or for some of the government
It's
schools.
okay. I mean, like you see, if you get something that is like a quasi attempt, right? It looks like the person is doing something. I have gone to a level in my
time
life
is fast
where
spent, so
mediocrity does not play for me. If either you're doing something you do right or not.
I don't know if you like to react to this, so let's just go straight to the IGP's issue, because
No, because you know, when
you're a stakeholder in this industry.
when people talk about the education system in Nigeria, and then you have a minister saying one thing and the minister of state saying another thing, the question is, which of them is more educated? Which of them? How many of their kids are schooling in Nigerian schools? How many? Do you know why public schools have been grounded? It is your so-called rulers that grounded public schools.
How did he do that?
After grounding public schools, they all opened up their own private schools. That's what they have done. I am a beneficiary of public school, built by late Lateef Jakande of blessed memory. And I can tell you for free that even Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a beneficiary of public school. Most of the people you have as senators today, honorable members, governors, they went to school, public schools. They did not pay a dime. They enjoyed the largesse of free education.
Yeah, I paid though. 35 naira.
They enjoyed the largesse of free education.
Did I not try?
Free school, free bus, free books, everything free. Why are they making life difficult for the younger generation of Nigerians?
Okay. All right. Can we just quickly rest this case and move on to other conversations? So the police force headquarters in Abuja today has said categorically that what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved for the IGP Kayode Egbetokun regarding his appointment is not an extension of tenure, but rather the proper application of the law governing the tenure of the office of the IGP. And he quoted Muyiwa Dijobi, the first PRO, stated this in a press conference, and then he said, "Oh Lord," and said that we should not give listening ears to the naysayers and mischief makers who try to make it look like the president elongated the tenure of the IGP. Now, you'd recall that the president did appoint the IGP upon resumption to office after a while, and then there was an executive bill pushed to the National Assembly seeking for a 4-year tenure of the IGP. So that's exactly what Egbetokun is saying. Muyiwa Dijobi is saying. However, a lot of people are saying that, since the IGP is supposed to retire before the elapsement, if I have to use that word, of his 4 years tenure, what is the right thing to do? Because he cannot be serving as IGP when when your tenure when you should have retired as a police officer, right? So I think there was that amendment that ensures that an IGP, irrespective of your retirement, could run up the tenure. So that's exactly what he's explaining. But there is that confusion that why not get someone who has a longer time to stay, who's his tenure,
You see,
lifespan.
We have politicized everything in this country. And that is why this country is not moving forward. A president decides who the IG will be. He decides who the chief of army staff will be. He decides everybody. He appoints people. Do you know how many people were retired forcefully for you to have Egbetokun as your IG? Do you know? If a president comes and picks, say, an assistant commissioner as an IG, it means that everybody above him has to go. So we end up making appointments that creates room for you to retire people who are still vibrant and needful for the country. And yet you forget, it is the taxpayers' money you used to train these people, and you do not benefit from them. So if tomorrow he goes and the president decides to appoint maybe a commissioner of police, do you know how many AIGs, yes, AIG, DIG, that will go? These are the kind of policies that is pulling this country backwards.
All right. So you want to say something?
I want to add something to
okay,
it.
Please, quickly, so that we can.
See, like he said, the idea of adjusting the law or trying to, they brought a bill to now make it look like Egbetokun's tenure being I wouldn't use the being elongated, put it that way. I mean, they're only just using the law to back it up, and that will be the nuanced situation now, because I mean, another president can come in tomorrow and decide to, reverse it, but maybe because of the
it's a law now, so that means it will take the consent of the National Assembly to reverse that, because it's been made a law. It's not like it's a court order that you can take another court order to counter.
Today,
yes, please.
Mr. Akpabio said anything the president brings to his table, he's going to sign.
And when you said another president can come and reverse it, another president may come and may not be lucky to have a National Assembly that will consent to anything he brings.
And which,
sorry,
apart from Buhari that had Saraki, because they are from different parties, I've never seen any president that didn't have.
No, they were not from different parties. They were from the same party. Saraki was a member of APC at the time that he was Senate president. You know that?
No.
Yes, he was. He was part of the PDP governors that decamped to APC before the 2015 election. So at the time he won the election, he won under APC. And
no.
Well,
no.
Then they were APDP.
No.
Remember, they were APDP.
But at the time
they hobnobbed with APC, and they were part of APC. They were APC members. You can do your research.
Okay,
sir.
But he was at loggerhead with the president, right?
Perhaps because they said then, according to them, then that the president did not want him to be the Senate president.
Exactly. So it's all about interest. So let's look at the fact that that was the only Senate presidency, and that never allowed anything the president brings to his table to just go like that. He was able to push some things back and say, no, we're not going to sign. Having said that, they've been able to back Egbetokun's elongation, but I put it, they've been able to back it with law to say, if a person, it doesn't really matter if you're retiring, if your retirement age falls into the period that you're still serving, you're just going to complete, the law will allow you to complete your term before you can, vacate the office. That is the legal thing to do, to be able to back this particular thing because the president needs the IG for whatever reason. He needs him. And that's the bottom line.
Okay. All right. So let's quickly move to another conversation very quickly. No, talking about the IG and then security. The National Human Rights Commission has said that at least 467 Nigerians were killed in 4 states alone, not all the states. So, and these states are Kaduna, Benue, Katsina, and Plateau. No Kano State, please. Kaduna, Benue, Katsina, and Plateau State. And it's not in the whole 1 year. It's just between July and August. So 467 human beings, not animals, were killed in 2 months between July and August in 4 states in Nigeria. I don't know what happens to the rest 32 states and plus the Federal Capital Territory. Now, according to this report, the National Human Rights Commission, which disclosed this today, Friday, also revealed that about 1,200 end bad governance protesters have so far been arrested and detained by security agencies across the country. While some of them have been charged to court, some are still not charged to court. And then the Human Rights Commission is worried that most of them have stayed longer than the statutory time required by law before you charge people to court. Presenting its July and August 2024 human rights decisions, Hilary Obuna, the senior human rights advisor of the executive secretary of the NHRC, said a total of 14,200 complaints against human rights abuses were received by the commission across the country in the last 2 months. Just 2 months ago, did you hear the figure? The complaints were 414,200. He said between July and August, a total of 142 killings were recorded in Kaduna, 137 in Benue, 137 people in Benue. Katsina recorded 112 and 76 were recorded in Plateau State. The commission insisted that protest is not a crime in Nigeria, but a legitimate way to programs. That is to air your thought. The reason I had to raise this conversation, it was very important. I will bring it to the fore because I did have more like a reaction by a senior lawyer in Nigeria speaking about protest and charging people for treason over protesting in Nigeria. I do wish that I can have a sound bite saying that so that I can quickly play it for Nigerians. Let's take a listen to him say that.
My name is Timothy Abiodun Olatukubo Chubiyele. I followed the demonstrations. Some turned riotous. Some of the demonstrators were arrested. I learned they are now being charged for treason. I have to be honest. I am yet to see the charge sheet. But I had a top functionary of the present government address the world that demonstrators tried to overthrow the government of the land, and that they should wait for a change, wait for the next elections. I heard on a video a top lawyer, I think he's acting for the government, he said that demonstrators are being sponsored by foreign interests. I believe these demonstrators are being tried for treason just to deter other Nigerians from demonstrating. Demonstrators claimed that they were demonstrating against hunger in the land, which is real to many Nigerians. They claim that they were demonstrating against bad governance. When and how can demonstration against bad governance and hunger in the land turn to treason? I am pleading with the Honorable Attorney General, Chief Lateef Fagbemi. I have never met Chief Lateef Fagbemi in person. I've seen him at a distance in a party, but I've never met him in person. I was told that he was called to the Nigerian bar in 1985. In 1985, I was a junior lecturer at the Nigerian Law School, Victoria Island. I can't remember Chief Lateef Fagbemi as my student, but I can remember some of my students who were his mates. I remember Honorable Ogala, Babatunde Ogala, SAN. He was my student. I remember Chief Femi Fanikayode. He was my student. I taught Chief Femi Fanikayode Nigerian legal system. I taught lawyers who trained in foreign university. I remember Niyi Owolade, former Deputy Speaker, Osun State House of Assembly, former Commissioner for Health, Osun State, former Attorney General, Osun State. I remember Bola Ladna, the daughter of the law legend, Harry Ladna, who is now the managing director of one of the foremost banks in Nigeria. Ruth Banham. No, there's this other lady. Two of them studied abroad. They were newscasters on TV. That's almost 40 years ago. I've forgotten their names. So, Chief Lateef Fagbemi, I was called to the bar in 1980. I'm your senior at the bar. I am pleading with you as your senior. I am pleading with you as your teacher. Please, if it is true, I will be happy if you deny all that I've said. Withdraw these charges. Demonstration is not treason. Don't keep these children. Don't keep them in the cell. They'll probably be there for another 2, 3, 4, 5 months, even 1 year, because all you want to achieve, this government wants to achieve, is to deter demonstration. Then after some time, the charges will be withdrawn. Show mercy. You are a member of a honorable society. Don't play the wheel of politicians. You did not get to the office as any other politician. You are a lawyer indeed. I plead with you. Then what is the solution? Some people have said they want to go on demonstrations again. 1st of October. Please do not demonstrate.
I had to quickly stop there because we don't have time to accommodate most of them. So you heard what, the senior advocate said, and this is very worrisome. He insists on the fact that as not just a lawyer, but as a law lecturer, that demonstration is not in any way a treasonable offense. And do you see the Attorney General of the Federation hearing this message or listening to this and perhaps, resenting or, doing something different over the charges against the protesters?
Well, okay, so let me say that it's unfortunate that Nigeria has become a crime scene. A whole lot has really happened. Given this administration, more ugly things have even happened. In democracy, let me quote Thomas Jefferson. He said, quote, "When the government respects the people, there will be liberty. But when the people respect the government, there will be tyranny." So tyranny, high-handedness, mistreatment is all we get, because the Nigerian people, again, in democratic setting, instead of understanding their own place and know how to protect and exhibit what they should know in democracy, they are at the bottom of the food chain, receiving any and every kind of mistreatment. There is nowhere in the world where protestation is a crime. It's only for any government that, want to do things in a certain way and just want to keep the people where they want them to be. Because from what the legal luminary had said, Their only sin was to protest to the government, to literally just plead with them the fact that they are hungry.
But there was clearly chaos in some part of the country. The entire carrying of other countries' flags.
Those
and all
things.
That. But let's just leave
those
them for another
things. I
day.
expected. If you have a good police system, that should be able to protect these people.
All right, so let's go straight to you now, Prince Francis Chilaka. Before I open the phone lines, I'm sure my phone lines are already buzzing. According to reports, over at least 1.05 billion naira have been spent so far transactionally for ransom by bandits and kidnappers. How is it that it is so easy, or it's important for us to charge people who protested against whatever it says that they're uncomfortable with treason? But most of these kidnappers, I don't want to say they're going unabated, because Bello Turiji has come to perhaps even threaten and dare the Nigerian government that they cannot do anything. He even made it almost an ethnic war between Hausas and Fulanis. If you listen to that video where he did make those statements, how has it been so difficult for us to ensure we nipped this insecurity in the bud? But it's very easy to access, catch, and apprehend those, use any word you like, those people who are, protesting against bad governance.
Is that the government of today is more interested in protecting a stronghold on power and on the people.
Is this just about the government of the day of this being? It's been there in.
Let me land. Okay. When I say the government of the day, don't forget where this president is coming from.
Where?
He's coming from the civil society.
Oh.
Yes, he understands the modus operandi of organizing and executing a protest. So he has been a ringleader of protest. Was he charged for treason? Was he arrested?
But these people were charged because they were...
Please, you people should stop this grammar of flag or no flag. Go to all the churches. Most of the churches, you see them flying different flags. A lot of people carry different flags in their cars. Why are they not being arrested? The people you saw with flags, precious. Be very honest with yourself. The people you saw on television with flags, do they look like people who really know what they're holding? Do they? You see, it is easier for politicians to take advantage of the people during voting, during canvassing for votes. If it was during the elections and these same people carrying flags voted, would they come against them? They will not.
But why has it become very difficult for us to nip insecurity
Now,
in the bud? As I mentioned earlier, because it looks like kidnapping is now a lucrative business. We hear that over the past 1 year, about 11 billion naira has been demanded in ransom.
Yes, I'm coming to that.
Why can't we do anything about it?
It's not a matter of why can't we do anything. It's just that the government does not have the political will. I remember a few months back when they said some radicalized, radicalized or whatever you call them. Government has a way of using names. De-radicalize. They have a way of using names to sell themselves.
So it's disarming, de-radicalizing, and reintegrating.
Now, and I remember I asked the question, forgive and forget. What about the bruises?
They won't go see it here.
These are people who kidnapped, raped, maimed, and killed innocent Nigerians. And you wake up from sleep one day and you say, oh, they have surrendered their guns. They have surrendered themselves. We have taken them in. We have indoctrinated them. We have removed the whole concept of killing from them. But nobody's talking about those who have lost their loved ones. Nobody's talking about the ladies who got raped.
All right, time is fast spent. Let's quickly run on our calls because we've gone 20 minutes past 8 o'clock.
Can I just
Let's
take
say
1 minute
quickly.
to answer?
Yes, please.
Good. You talked about why is it difficult to nip insecurity in the
Yes,
board.
please.
Abacha said something, quote, said any any problem that allows than 24 or 48 hours, and government is not able to bring it to its knees, that means government's hands is in it. That was what Abacha said. Then if we look at the structure of government that we have, these guys are succeeding because the proponent of such idea, because it's become an ideology, many of them are in government. They've been able to strategically push themselves into government, into lawmaking, into decision making.
I don't understand you, but because this is not about this present administration.
No, I said it's been there. It's been there. They've been working, many years back. What you're seeing now is a manifestation of the strategy they put in place a long time ago. Do you understand me? That's why things can't seem to abate, because Nigeria is such a place that it's so open. You can plan anything, execute it, and nobody will know. Even when people get to know, nothing will happen, because it's all about interest. So that's why we're going to be in this thing for a very long time. Insecurity will be with us for a very long time. I can assure you that.
God forbid.
It's not about God forbid.
This is
the reality.
You and who?
Can we say God forbid?
You and who?
All right, Lagos phone lines are open. Let's begin to take your thoughts and reactions on the conversation. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp line is 0817 175 6338. 0817 175 6338. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yes, please, welcome. Sir? This is what?
Aliu, is Aliu.
Aliu, where are you calling from?
Yeah, here from Kano.
You're welcome, Aliu. Go ahead.
Yes. Please, all I want the government to come out and tell us what is behind this bandit. Because it's not only, I heard what Turji said yesterday.
Okay. You would have helped us interpret that thing he said, Seth.
Yes, because if we talk now, we'll chop on, we'll collect and we'll do, but this is not a marriage, right?
Sorry.
You understand me? If we talk now, we hear get of the book for us, but we know what's behind this, we can't even talk. So what is, they should just come outside and tell us, they are just killing our people, the Nigerians. It's unfair. It's not good. We can't even go to farm.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Lagos phone lines are still open. I appreciate you, Ibrahim. Thank you for calling. 0700
Did you take something from what he just said?
Yes, he said he can't go to farm.
Food insecurity.
Yes, sir.
Food insecurity.
You wanted to be sure I heard that part.
Yet, your government said they want to start selling rice. 40,000 naira to Nigerians, and you must come with your NIN.
Yes,
is
sir.
it not a shame? Is it not a slap on the faces of Nigeria? When did the rice become a solution to the food crisis in Nigeria?
It's a staple food, though, and you have to identify who's buying it to make sure you not come and buy two. Mr. Kenny, don't you understand that?
Precious, we're in for a long
Sorry, sir. Lagos phone lines are still open. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening to you. Oh dear. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Yeah,
good evening. Are you there?
Yeah, Precious, good evening.
Yes, please. Welcome. What's your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Emmanuel from Ogun State.
Emmanuel, you're welcome. Go ahead. Straight on.
Okay, Precious, I'm asking if our presidents are still thinking we're in a time of election campaigning, because we are hearing a lot of, going to China, you want to, bring China into Nigeria, to make Nigeria to like China. All those things are like, political languages we have been hearing during the time of, campaigning. We are talking about action, not about comparing. We're going to do this or that. You have been a president. Carry on assignment, not by comparing, doing all these things. And there is something I'm seeing Nigeria like a home without a father. I'm seeing Nigeria like a nation. A sheep without a shepherd. Things are getting worse. Where is our father? If we have a father, if we have a father in this nation talking about president, where is the president?
No.
Why?
You won't speak that way about the president. Please, whatever you do, give the office of the president some respect.
I'm sorry about.
Yes, we do have a father. We do have a president. Please, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. If we have a father, why is it that the children are crying and nobody is hearing their crying? Why is it that there is massive barrier, going on because of people that editorialist kills? And where is our father? Where is our father when all the hope?
Hello, are you there?
No organize. Where is our father? Where is our father when the people are traveling abroad? Where is our father?
Sorry, sir. Sorry. All right, Lagos phone lines are still open. 0700 903 903 903. I have to lower my tone now so that I don't make anyone angry. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. Please help me turn up the volume of your radio set. Good evening, welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do this now. When you call me, turn up the volume of your radio set, please. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, welcome. I have to put you on WhatsApp on hold. Please kindly be on hold. Go ahead.
Okay. I think everyone is here.
Yes, please.
You're welcome.
Miss Precious, I beg. There's something I want to say about this where that this word that affects everyone in the country. And I just have one of my friends that is working under his boss. He confessed to me like yesterday that his boss is making it looking as if because he do help his boss to, they do sell products, so they will help his boss to distribute the thing or, for people that do buy it. So he used public transport. So he was saying that his boss is begins to suspecting that he do keep money from the transport. Meanwhile, it's because of the transport has had money. But the boss doesn't consider all this. So he doesn't see. He makes it feel like he's the one that's keeping the money by he's all alone by himself. But which is not true. It was like the boss now the boss has lied to salary. Imagine. Have to pay him half for what he didn't know anything about. See, I beg you guys to talk to the politicians. Help us to talk to them. Tell them to bring down the price of the fuel down.
Thank you.
We are suffering.
Thank you.
We are suffering. We are suffocating us. This is obvious.
Thank you. Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Want us to die?
Sorry. Thank you.
I beg.
Thank you so much. Hello, good evening to you. Apologies for keeping you on hold for a
Yeah, good evening, my sister Precious and gentlemen in the studio. Mazi from Germany. I just read from Bayo Ananuga that the president of Nigeria has left China for UK. I mean, look, let me tell you. Sometimes I know, Precious. I know your job is very, very, difficult. In fact, because the way we speak here on radio is not the way we speak in Nigeria, because I know the situation over there. But these people are making us angry. These people are making us angry. They are just, kind of asking Nigerians, what can you do? You can do nothing. The president, how many days in China, and now, he's leaving for UK, and nobody is telling us or telling Nigerians his mission in the UK. These things cost a lot of money. For a president of a country moving around the world and not telling the people why he's moving around, no press is following him. Nobody's asking, nobody knows exactly his missions in these places. It's very, very absurd in 2024. Nigeria is bleeding. There is massive poverty. There is more massive hunger and starvation. Famine, killings in Nigeria, and the president is not there. The president is, joking around. Let me tell you, I don't want to pour my anger on this radio, but this thing is becoming unbecoming. And do you know why these people can do this thing and get away with it? As I've said it before, because Nigeria is not a homogeneous country where people can get up in one day and say enough is enough. That is why they have the latitude, they have the impunity of doing this thing to ordinary Nigerians. I cry when I see Nigerians sleeping in a filling station. Yesterday, somebody called that he slept, 2 days in filling station in Abuja, and yet he didn't get any single liter of fuel. And the rulers of Nigeria don't even care. Don't care. Here in Germany, I've told you last time, somebody murdered 3 people. Within 2 days, our chancellor was there. The ceremonial president of Germany was there. On Sunday, they had what you call it now, church service for the death of 3 people. Germans, everybody was, Germans was like very angry. And immediately they discussed the whole thing in the Senate. And now a lot of deportation is happening because of 3 people. A life in Germany is worth millions. You cannot take somebody's life here and get away with it. But look at how people are being killed from the north, to the east, to the west, to everywhere, and nobody cares. Even the governors like Yobe governor didn't even go, to the burial ceremony where almost how many people were murdered. The governor of the state didn't even show up there. What are we human beings? Are we really human beings? Look, I speak Hausa very well. If you listen to what Turuji Bello is saying, you know that Nigeria government is not serious, in fighting them. Because look at the recent or the last video he showed. That place was open field. It was not, a forest. It was nothing, and yet
I think I heard that he mentioned in that video that these are farms that they are now living in. That those farmers are not coming down.
Yes, that was open field, plain field, plain farming. They are taking, farmland from.
That is like it's just a shrub. So how come our air operation cannot capture them within that area and do something? I don't understand.
If you listen to Bello Turuji, you will cry for Nigeria. And those imams, those people who are speaking now, up now, they have been living in denial, but now it is coming to them. The chicken have come home to roost. That's why they are speaking, because everybody is endangered now. Turuji is just because the government of Nigeria is not willing to confront him. And let me tell you, finally, if those borders were bordering Igbo land or Ijo land or Ikwere land, those places would have been mad. Those places would have been, destroyed like the way they destroyed Odi and the Sakibiam. This thing we call one Nigeria must be discussed, must be defined, because when other people are treated like kings and the others are treated like slaves, it is very disgusting. It is very appalling. Finally, our president should come back and address this fuel situation, because this fuel crisis is going to bring people out of the street, and don't even call them, treacherous or treasonable felonies, because people who cannot afford to move around cannot stay at home and look at you while you fly around the whole world.
Thank you. Thank you
so much. Good night from here. God bless you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hello, good night. Good night. Hello, good evening to you. Good evening. Welcome. Please speak up. Hello.
The problem of Nigeria is that we don't our every people deserve what they have. Every country deserve what they get. Nigeria is deserving what they get because of what? You see what happened during the time of Jonathan, when Jonathan was president of Nigeria. How many states did he serve? But the men that matters in Nigeria, both traditional rulers, religious leaders, all of them were against him, because he is from a minority Right. They see what's happening and nobody is talking. Nobody is talking because what is happening? Nigeria, even the election is coming up this year, as they do it. Imagine that. NNPC is happening. What are they capturing? I want to win that election. When they will tell you that they won because they read. Before somebody will lead the election or a party, they are getting potential goods. Not to give them against that. Why are Nigerians? No one should pity for us.
Oh, yes,
we are architects of our misfortune. Whatever we are getting in this country, we are because they know that whatever happens, every installation they give to us, we accept.
Thank you.
That is our problem.
Thank you.
The problem of Nigeria is that whenever Nigeria will say that this is our Nigeria have never produced a leader. Nigeria have never voted for a leader and they that counted.
Your line is getting very distorted. Apologies. Thank you so much. I think you've made your point. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening. This is Jonathan calling from London.
Jonathan, you're welcome. Go ahead quickly.
I greet your guests in the studio.
And they greet
you.
Good evening.
Yes, I greet APC women leaders.
You wanted to say minister. I thought you wanted to say Minister Precious. I'll be one begin sing praise and worship. Then
no, I want to have the sleep. I quickly retrace my step. That's all.
Go ahead, Jonathan. Well done. You usually repent. Go ahead, please.
So I'm waiting for President Tinubu to appoint Minister of Insecurity because this is the only sector that is thriving now. You can bear me witness. I listened to the money that the ransom that was paid is quite huge. To be honest, that money is tempting. It's a serious business. So that is that. And regarding the Tinubu saying in China that you want to turn around Nigeria to China, this is why are you laughing at me now? This is not fair. I don't know. Maybe it's a mirage, or the person that prepared the notes. There's a slip somewhere. I don't know. So there are some things that is not captured inside that Ogun State situation is not captured inside that speech. I don't know why they miss it. So turning around Nigeria to China, I don't know how that one.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan.
I'm sorry you're angry with my speech.
I'm not
sorry.
Angry. I cannot be. Is my name Precious Nigeria? I am not angry. Go ahead. But it's just that your time is up. You've spoken for 2 minutes, so it's fine. Hello, good evening to you and welcome. Hello. All right, let me quickly. Oops, the messages are just so much. But let me just pay attention to some messages quickly. What did you say? Oh, people leave me. Say Precious Tomatoes. This is Valentine. Valentine, how are you? And I am always annoyed whenever I hear the government bragging over their policies. Precious, please kindly help me tell the president that his policies are not working. Instead, his policies are rendering people jobless with massive hunger. I wish the people that are close to him will tell him the real truth. Happy weekend to you, Precious. Thank you, His Royal Highness BC Nwoko. And Apostle Parry from Egan, Lagos says, Precious promise everyone in the studio, I agree to too. For the affairs of this nation called Nigeria is given to you to manage by the way of election. President, is it by force to embark on obnoxious policies that's killing Nigerians without human face? And we sit on the look. It's a matter of time. Chicken will come home to roost. Damn. All right. And Kenny Young from Okaba says, see, as good father, Mr. President said he can't help fuel issues, but private jet of 150 billion naira is good for him. How can your children be hungry at home? Development should not stop in one person's living room. Okay. All right. Is that what you wrote? Okay. And then this here says, this is Idowu Henry from Ojo, Lagos says, Tinubu seem not to understand, or perhaps not telling us that he understands what Nigerians are passing through due to his unthoughtful reforms. So this is coming out from his mouth. I don't think, oh my goodness. Okay. All right. My wisdom men in the studio, I greet you, Prince Francis Chila Kanekena will be, God bless you people. You're doing huge today. He said what? Hungry deal, me and my children, hungry they catch us. Paulinus sent in that from Isala. Good evening, Precious. Is it how Mr. President knows to improve classrooms and academic environment after visiting China in 2024 and claimed he studied in the United States of America many years ago? Okay, sent in that message. And then, Shola sent in that message. Tinubu comes back from China, he will reduce the fuel price to 700 naira, and his people will hail him, saying that he is a listening president. Amobi from 7 and 8 cents in that message. And then this year says, good evening, Madam Precious. Nana from Okafa. Under the last administration, 33,000 liters of tanker of PMS was less than 7 million. But under this administration, it is 30 million. Madam Precious, how many of those independent marketers can raise such amounts for their stations? You see why the scarcity will continue. Increasing the pump price will still not make the products available. Madam Precious, the future of Nigeria is very scary. And the end of the tunnel is dark. And it's almost impossible to see that light for yourself. I will see it though. I will see that light in Jesus' name. Sir?
Precious,
Sir?
hold on 1 second.
Okay, sir.
I'm still trying to understand why Dangote, a private entity, is waiting for the federal government to dictate the price at which he will sell.
You know, it's a
I don't
relationship.
understand.
Remember,
No, because you see,
they're giving him oil. Maybe they're owing, owing them
See,
in kind.
let us be very honest with ourselves. If we let this go, it means that the same federal government will wake up tomorrow and tell hoteliers how much to charge for their rooms. If you want to regulate the society, you must have an option. Why is it that this so-called NNPCL has become an organization that cannot be accountable to the Nigerian people? Why is it that this same organization, millions are being spent as salaries, entertainment, and all of that, yet not one refinery is working? And suddenly, everybody is now bent on holding on to Dangote refinery. Is it not the same monopoly that they've been talking about, that we're going back to?
All right, I have someone on the line. Thank you, sir. Hello, good evening to you.
Hi, Precious.
Hi, Jova. How are you?
Good evening.
Welcome.
I'm doing great.
Go ahead.
I hope you're doing great too.
Yeah, I'm super. Go on. No, I'm not fine. No,
I have to.
No. I've just forgotten that I shouldn't give you that default answer. I'm not fine. Ask me, how are you? Well.
You're doing great, Precious.
No, I'm not doing great. Go ahead.
Nothing will affect you. Let me greet my people. Friday Tonic, Mr. Kenel B. Good evening, sir.
Yes, so good
And
evening.
let me greet the wise Prince Chilaka. You see, good evening, Prince Chilaka.
My brother.
You people make my Friday. And I will greet the woman at the backyard, promise. Each time I hear your voices, I am happy. And Precious Money is a constant tonic anyways. Precious,
Sir?
let me say this thing quickly. I have always said that any ministry, let me start by saying there are ministries that we must have experts, technocrats to handle them. One of those ministries is the Ministry of Education. It was just yesterday that somebody told us, Adam, that he does not know anything about education. He said so. He is on YouTube. People can go and watch it. He said so, and you are bringing a man simply because he was a vice chancellor of a university and a professor who does not have any educational background. Look at what Mr. Kenobi just said the other time. You need to bring people who are grounded in education. That is why somebody will say until you are 18 years. I am not surprised at the response that the House of Assembly people are supporting that motion. Most of them don't have the certificates. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Most of them don't have it. It's either they pay somebody to sit down in an examination hall for them, all that thing.
That's an accusation you have to come and prove here.
I am saying most of them don't have it, Precious. I am saying it. When I was in school, I've had some people that will come and ask me to write exam for them. So forget that one.
So what makes you think they're politicians?
Most politicians don't have it. Precious. So leave it. That is why the constitution
let me
is
not
said
cut
is
you off. Oh, yeah, go quick. Talk quick.
constitution says that you must have only school certs to be a president of this country. That's aside. Precious, let me just stop by saying that I have to do market survey for you. Tomorrow is Saturday. We'll do a market survey together.
But you heard when I said I was not fine.
I will finish talking. No, you have to be fine, Precious. I went to do my market survey today. Surprisingly, good news, Precious. Very good news. There were a department of religion, differences, Christian, Muslim, and we have our department separately. We have Yoruba department. We have section in market, but in office we call it department. We have Igbo, we have Hausa. So when you come, you just go to where your own section is and buy your market. But do you know one thing that is very interesting, Precious? My finding now shows that anywhere you like go to, the price is going to be the same and it's expensive. So the people are rolling up and looking for petrol to buy now. If you like, go to anywhere, Precious. It will be expensive. Precious, I know you're fine. Don't worry. It will be well. Prince Chiloka, I greet all of you.
Bye-bye, Joval. Bye-bye. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. All right. Hello, good evening. Are you there? Good evening. Oops, network will not let that call pull through. Hello, are you there? Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. All right. So let me see if I can read a few more messages and then say, oh my goodness, my message box is full. So if you didn't read your message, don't be angry. Okay. Okay. So this says, good evening, Precious, and the guest NNPC will appear to be used by some people in Nigeria. You have some pseudo-intellectuals justifying evil. NNPC ought to be x-rayed by the National Assembly, but governance is not working. Hence, free for all. Precious, my sister, you are trying your best. Nigeria will be great again. I believe so. And you said, does it make sense that someone is in certain areas of Nigeria may marry a Nigerian girl of 13, but that same 13 years old girl cannot write WAEC? If you ask me. Okay, good evening, Precious, and my lovely guest. Remember, when a man is denied the right to live the kind of life he believes in, he has no choice than to become an outlaw. Nelson Mandela. Person when sabi na intokam. Chris from Ajawa State sent in that message. And Mary from Okafa says, Dangote have proven that fuel can be refined in Nigeria. Government should stop every importation of fuel and put a stop to burning of oil vessels. As far as I'm concerned, 40k of rice is not cheap, and they should stop palliative at any kind. That's what you're trying to say. We're not refugee camps. That's what you said. Okay, and then Lady Precious, my brother Francis, God bless this man for saying the truth. Obvious, late Mr. Latif Fagwimi, his former student contradicts his lecturer on what amounts to terrorism. There is a body of benchers in charge of disciplining the judges. Do they have oversight against the AGF? You see the laughing stock we have been made, even when the promise will never come to pass as previous promises. The idea of queuing for 40,000 naira rice will ridiculously create more problem than it will solve. The country has kind of defied every solution this administration has brought in. That's what you said. And then this here says, good evening, Precious. Waliu from Oshodi. I really felt for this guy, Aliu, that called from Kano, because the insecurity in the country is really getting out of hand. Because I remember when I was FGC Azare, Bauchi State, I always traveled alone since when I was in JSS1 till I passed out in 2000 from Lagos to Kano. Then when getting to Kano my second day, I would take another bus to Azare for hours, and I would travel during the night. Can I do that now again? Hey, you want to turn? Does your family have money for ransom? That's what some people will say. All right, so let's see if I can take a few YouTube messages and I'll go straight to my step down conversation. Emmanuel says, which way Nigeria? Okay, blessing. I see all your messages, but you know I can't read it. Mafam says we have entered. Dada Adebayo, our HPC spokeslady, how market. Hope you are enjoying your government that has continue to do eye service. So I like to read this kind of message. As I do eye service, Abi. You won't speak the way about the president. You guys are promoting Nigerian future. Wow, that's what you said. Nigerian journalist. Yeah, you should come back where you are. Help us practice journalism. Lagos, let's take a quick breather. When we come back, I have someone in the studio to join us on a step down conversation. Stay with us. All right, Lagos, you are welcome back. It is 10 minutes to 7 o'clock. Did I say 7? 10 minutes to 9 o'clock because me, I want to pack my load. I don't want it to be 7 o'clock at all. So it's still the Evening Rush 90.3 Voice of the People FM. And you know how we do it. From time to time, we'll bring in people on a step-down conversation. So because it's Friday, we thought to have, a step-down conversation that, would look at a bit of the music industry in Nigeria. So, I have to say this is courtesy of Prince Francis Chilaka, but let's just go there, right? So I have Volcano in the building. So there's a song I've been playing every time before I start this show. If you listen, especially not for those of you on YouTube, I play this song all the time. Is this music on YouTube?
No.
You've not? Okay, so that means I can play it on YouTube.
It's on YouTube Music. Yeah.
It's on YouTube Music, but not YouTube. Okay, is it monetized on YouTube?
On YouTube Music?
Yes. So that means I can't play it. If I play it now, they will not come for me.
Nah, you can't.
This is not good. This is not good. All right, so go ahead. Your name is Volcano, right?
My name is Volcano LC.
But wait till the real name where your mama gave you, because they cannot.
That LC,
they cannot call you a volcano. You will erupt, too.
I erupt fire. I spit fire. Spit lava.
Oh. That's injurious.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. Let's talk about your music. How long have you been into music?
I've been into music for a very long time.
How long?
As long as 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you don't know me and I don't know you? Yeah. Oh, no, that must be some mistake.
Yeah, there's been a glitch in my music involvement.
Okay, so do you do music as a full career? It's just like a hobby, something you just do at
It was
the
a full
pastime.
career, then I had some circumstances that pulled me away from music, but I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that means have you done any collaboration, any major collaboration with any known artists?
Not yet.
So why haven't you done that over the years?
Like I said, I had some setbacks.
So you went on a hiatus?
Yeah.
And then you're back now?
I'm back, yeah.
Okay, so what kind of music? What kind of music do you do?
I do Afro pop, rap.
Afro pop?
Yeah, and rap music, hip hop.
Okay. What inspired that genre of music for you? What inspired you to get into that genre of music?
I think I love music and I listen to music a lot. So I think I do well when it comes to rap. And then Nigeria, Africa, we are all Afro music. We do Afro beats. So I just love expressing myself lyrically as a lyricist. So that's what it entails. Yeah.
So who would you say is the greatest rap artist? Don't say Eminem.
You just said it.
No. I was hoping you'd not say Eminem. See the way I said it.
You just
Eminem is G-O-D.
Yeah.
Like he's the GOAT, rather G-O-A-T.
It's Eminem.
Yeah, so what inspires you about Eminem's music? Oh, M.I.
Yeah.
M.I.
M.I.
M.I. really?
Yeah.
Why not Ice Prince? Why not someone
I
else?
love Ice Prince.
But M.I. is it for you?
Inspiring, yeah, I think M.I. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what is it about Eminem for you?
Eminem is different. Just like I am. He raps.
You think he's avant-garde? Like,
he does his thing.
Unconventional?
Yeah, he doesn't... every other rapper almost sound like it's just almost the same thing, but maybe in different tune and different sound. But Eminem just does his thing. It's like he's talking and he's singing at the same time. He's rapping.
So many have said that Eminem is a bit philosophical in his music. Do you agree?
Yes, I do.
You do agree?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Okay, so how about M.I.? What is it about M.I.'s music for you?
African rapper number one.
M.I. You don't want to go there?
African rapper number one, yeah, I think he...
But why is M.I. your number one, though?
Because he's the reason I'm here.
Oh.
Yeah, because without M.I. in Africa, in Nigeria, personally, rap music would have gone down. So because of MI, he stood his ground. He didn't like every other. Most of the rappers have deviated from rap music to Afro beats, but MI still stood his ground, and that gave me that confidence. Like, guy, go into this. You go make him. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so where are you looking at your music career heading?
By the grace of God, because we don't do anything without God's grace, I see myself internationally.
Okay, so how many singles have you done so far?
I have a lot of singles, but right now I have just one out there, and I have 2 more coming out. I'm just dropping out Ebube Dike, which is not yet out there, but I'm just looking at promoting this on time.
Okay.
Very well. Then I go into Ebube Dike, which is my next big thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Any EP album coming soon?
Yeah, EP is dropping soon. Yeah.
All right. So, do you plan to do any future?
Do I plan to?
Future featuring anyone?
Yes.
Who would that be?
For now, I'm still working on myself.
Okay.
And that will enable me know who to work with.
Okay.
Because
but if you were to take a random pick, apart from MI, I don't want to say MI. Apart from MI, who would it be?
David O.
Ah.
I pray.
Yeah, 30 BG.
I'm a 30 BG for life. I love the young man. He's doing great, standing his ground. And
but some people are yabbing him that he doesn't have the vocal strength now. So why do you love him?
Don't
come for me. It's not me that said it too. Before you come for me now.
I don't have a vocal strength too, but I'm doing my thing. Yeah. Okay. So I think he inspires me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about him? His drive, his push. What about him inspires you?
I think that's vocal strength. Being able to stand all grounds. Everybody's saying that, hey, doesn't. Some people would have tried to switch or do something else, but
he die, he pin, he die puts, he did there.
Still shouting, it's David though. He doesn't care.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Awesome. So, how do we access your music on YouTube? Music.
On YouTube Music?
Yes, please.
Yeah, you just search for Volcano LC on time.
Volcano LC on time.
On time, yeah.
On time. When is the video coming out? Any of the videos?
Very soon. A viral video will be dropping very soon.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. In case some of us want to follow you like your village people now, how do we follow you?
You follow me on Instagram, Volcano LC.
Okay.
I'm on Twitter, Volcano LC. I'm also on TikTok, but not too. Yeah.
So since you're not doing a traditional song, why are you not wearing bead on your neck now?
I have a song coming called Ebube Dike. Okay. This represents where I come from.
So you have to leave the part.
This represents where I come from. Yeah, I'm from a royal family.
Yeah. Is that why there's a prince around you?
So
you people have blue blood. I hear that they cut you. There is not red blood that comes out is blue.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to say. So how do we follow you like a village people? Losses or because so that they can come and follow you?
At Volcano LC.
At Volcano LC across all social media platforms. YouTube. Sorry. Facebook, Instagram. Okay.
Yeah.
All of
TikTok and Twitter.
Okay, Volcano.
Yeah,
Volcano LC. Like the volcano that will erupt.
VOCVNO, not A. VOLCVNO.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of VOLCANO, as we spell it, it's VOLCVNO LC.
Okay, so it would have been nice you spelled it very well so that people can.
VOLCVNO.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
you,
Volcano LC.
You're welcome
For stopping by. Mr. Ken, will be your parting shots as we push off.
Well, this is our country. We just keep talking. The people need to know what they're supposed to know. Be aware politically because everything thrives in.
Hence we see. We're done for that thing where you wish me. If only you know that I can't thrive there. All right, so this announcement before I leave. I hear that a hit and run vehicle has just knocked down a road crosser at Fariungu Junction between Ladekpo bus stop and Charity bus stop in Oshodi, Lagos. This is a call to police and health authorities to please kindly rush to the site now and do the needful ASAP. Just to mention again, LASEMA and every relevant authority, a hit and run vehicle has just knocked down a road crosser at Fariungu Junction. Fariungu Junction between Ladipo bus stop and Charity bus stop in Oshodi, Lagos. Please, health authorities, please and quick response, rapid response team, quick response, like emergency response, please kindly hurry to that scene now and kindly save a life. I appreciate you guys. My name is Precious. People know I love you, Abi. I love you even with all the buzzwords you guys give to me. Or you go and follow me on my YouTube page now. It's at Precious TV. Inye means friend, Abi. And I love to be your friend till the end, even if you think you hate me. But I love you. I see you again on Monday. Hopefully, have yourself an amazing evening. Please protect your mental health. Good night.